The college football experience, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambler Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up with the promo code TCESGPN over at UnderdogFantasy.com. They do have college football action. Check it all out, folks. And remember, as always, to let it ride.
Hey, this is John Sally, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Georgia Tech, Ramblin' Wreck, Buzz, Sting, 2025 season preview. Look, college football's better when the Yellow Jackets are killing it, and this could be a magical year. YouTube.com/the college experience. Hop on over there. If you're listening to this on audio side, we are grateful too. But remember, we're breaking down all 136 teams like we do each and every year. But this year it's 136, so check us out. I honestly think this is a team that, and I know I come with optimism, because the season has yet to kick off for every single team. But this one I had circled because I feel like if you look back at last year and you look back on a few losses where they didn't have star quarterback Haynes King or some questionable calls, I will bring up the Georgia game. I'm not saying the team would have been a college football playoff team, but the outcome, I think you have to, as a Yellow Jacket fan, you have to be excited about the future. We're going to talk all about it. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am quite fascinated by this team, by the tenure of Brent Key. Excited to talk about it, and I think optimism should be through the roof in Atlanta, and you should be good. College football changes. I was there when you won a natty in 90, and I'm ready for the next one. All right, I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the College Basketball Experience. So every night of the season, check us out. We're always talking Yellow Jackets, Bobby Crimmins, David Stoudemire, all that stuff. But also, give it up for former staffer at Austin Peay with the Governors, South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and West Virginia with the Mountaineers, Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Monette Line. Mac, how are you, brother?
What is up, man? Yes, I like the Yellow Jackets a lot this year, too. Can't wait to talk about it. Brent Key's doing a great job there.
You can't tell the story of college football without Georgia Tech. That's a fact, by the way. I know people think Georgia, and Georgia's great in its own right, but I always loved that nugget. It was a shame when Kirby Smart won the first one, because I was like, people were hyping up Georgia, and I was like, man, Georgia Tech's won a national championship more recent than Georgia. And you're lucky, because in the playoff era, Paul Johnson would have fucked with all of your guys' teams. I can tell you that right now. Saban wanted no business with Paul Johnson's Georgia Tech teams. I will meet me at a bar. We will argue that all fucking night. All right. And I think I have pretty good examples with Army and Citadel just having the biggest rush yards per average during Saban's tenure at Alabama. I'm here for it. But anyway, this isn't a Paul Johnson episode. That'll be every other episode you listen to the College Experience. But Georgia Tech, man, they're turning that corner. And they had to go to a former offensive lineman. That's always the way back to just you went through some dark years. Just what do you got to do? Man, we got an alum. He's a former offensive lineman. Doesn't matter what it is. You just say, okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's the situation at Atlanta. They turned to Brent Key. Thankfully they listened because he was interim. And even myself, I was a skeptic with the interim tag. I must admit, I clearly wrong here. Brent Key, Mac. This is a guy I truly believe. 4-4 as the interim coach when they fired what's my guy's name? Jeff Collins, who mimicked the triple option in practice. But then 7-6 and 7-6, but that's a phony 7-6. They were better than 7-6 last year. You added the quarterback injuries, but regardless, I think along the line of scrimmage, you realize that this team, if you watch that Georgia game, ask Kirby Smart. I'm sure Kirby Smart, that was in Athens.
Yeah.
He was like, fuck me, man. Georgia had no business winning that game. I'm going to say that right there. Georgia Tech was a better team for 60 minutes or 70 minutes, whatever that thing went to double, triple overtime.
It
but
went to 8 overtime.
Yeah. Whatever it was insane. But I felt like even my Georgia friends that are fans were like, man, we kind of stole that game. I think most Georgia fans will tell you that. Maybe not to Georgia Tech fans, but if you're saying, no, don't worry, I'm a Louisville fan. Oh shit, well, we played Georgia Tech, man. We got fortunate. Where you at with Brent Key?
Oh, he's doing an unbelievable job. Yeah, to your point, like they were up 14 with 5 minutes left at Georgia. 17 at the half. But Georgia Tech fans, we don't need to talk about that game. I mean, Key's got it headed in the right direction. 7-6, way better than that record last year. They had all those close losses as well. The main thing with Key is they have an identity in this program. It's hard-nosed, physical, tough football. And that's what he was as a player at Georgia Tech. So they got the hire right. That 4-4 the interim year. I mean, that was a dead team. For him to go 4-4, that was a nice start. And then every year he's had a winning record in the ACC. And now they look to try and jump up from that 7-win mark to have a special season that could be double digits maybe and potentially get to an ACC championship.
Yeah, I think people are looking for who could be this year's Indiana.
Yeah.
I would circle Georgia Tech. And I would even say like they passed the eye test a little bit more than Indiana. I mean, I know Indiana blew some teams out, but I'm saying like against top-notch competition when the Yellow Jackets played them, they looked the part for the most part. Let's talk about the offense. But before we do that, I want to let you know you are listening to the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And yeah, my name's Pick Dundee. This is Moneyline Mac. We preview every goddamn college football team in the FBS. You don't want to miss it. So subscribe to the College Football Experience. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. All right, let's jump into it. The offense last season under Buster Faulkner. Anyone named Buster, I'm a fan of. All right. That includes Busta Rhymes, who got his name. The rapper got his actor too, right? Naked Gun now. He got his name from the former Oklahoma Sooner quarterback, Busta Rhymes, in the 80s. Look, the offense, 55th in scoring offense, 54th in pass offense, 32nd in rush offense, 35th in total offense. That's not bad considering Haynes King missed multiple games.
Yep.
I think they would be much higher if they had Haynes King. So I'm very impressed with those numbers, and I think those are kind of lying to you too, Mac. Would you agree?
I think so too. Haynes King missed 2 games last year, or I think it was 2. But yeah, and they return a ton of production. We're going to get into what they got coming back. So getting Haynes King back, getting this core back. I would imagine that I would think that they're going to take a jump because the schedule is way easier this year than it was last year.
It was brutal last year.
Oh,
it was
horrible.
absolutely brutal, and it's been brutal the past couple of years. And I think you're right. Now the offense returns. I'm so stupid. I put Brent Key. Haynes King.
Brent Key's coming back too.
Yeah, he is coming back, and he's somewhat the quarterback of this team, right? Look, I am not always sober. So when I make these slides, they normally come at a time where I'm not always sober. Yeah, you live in Atlanta, you understand. Can't you get? I mean, Atlanta's a unique city. You can get like goddamn sushi at a strip club. All right, so it's like you know what I mean. All right, you can get sidetracked. All right. Haynes King is back at quarterback. Jamal Haynes is back at running back. He's awesome, by the way. One of my favorite players in college. Both are one of my favorite players in college football. Malik Rutherford is back at wide receiver. Left guard Joe Facili is back, and right guard Keelan Rutledge is back. Now I know what you're saying. What about the tackles, the center? Okay, we got to figure that out. Well, they went to the portal, Well, there's Haynes King there. Like, see, I made the fucking slide. I might have called him Brent Key, but I made the slide. And look at that awesome car. Georgia Tech is just college football through and through. I know some people will call them nerds or whatever because it's a tech school, but like you can't tell college football without Georgia Tech. Jamal Haynes, absolute beast. They went out in the portal and they brought in Malachi Hosley from Penn at running back, going to the Ivy League ranks. Maybe you guys are nerds. Then wide receiver Eric Rivers, who was at Georgia Tech, 2 years ago. So he's back. Not only is he back, he brings in Dean Patterson from the airport. Those are key gets to me because obviously they lost what's that guy Singleton there to Auburn. But I think getting Eric Rivers back and then he brings in We'll see how Patterson does. But they also brought in not LeBron but Debron Gatling, no relation to Chris, Rakeem Smith. So Gatling comes in from South Carolina. Rakeem Smith from Bowling Green. And then another Haynes, get him the ball. Wait till we get our Haynes on you. Evan Haynes from North Carolina coming in. I can't take how many Haynes are on this team. But it's fantastic. But look, all those guys had wide receiver and running back there with Hosley being the running back. Offensive line, Malachi Carney coming in from South Alabama. He started a lot of games there. Also, Will Reed from Princeton. God, he will read because, God damn it, he's from Princeton. He'll read everything you fucking publish. All right. Offensive tackle, Andrew Rosinski. All right. I know it sounds like a serial killer, but the guy can play. All right. He was at North Carolina the past couple of years. He comes in. And don't forget Harry Lodge, a tight end from Wake Forest. And also JT Byrne from the California Golden Bears coming in at tight end. Mac, they bring in offensive linemen that have played. I just trust offense. It takes a former offensive lineman to realize that no matter who they roster, I'm going to trust that the offensive line is in good shape. Now, other positions, okay. Maybe you could sell me on, we're not as good at wideout as we were a year ago. I don't know, maybe. But I also, if I was building a team, wideout would be one of the last positions I would worry about. So the question I ask you, providing Haynes King stays healthy. Now that's a big what if, because damn, he there's certain games the dude has like 30 carries.
Yeah.
QB power.
He is not soft.
Yeah, he's not soft at all. Do you think the offense will put up better numbers? I'm going to say yes, just because we know the schedule's way better, right? We know the schedule is just way better. So I do think the offense will put up better numbers than a season ago. How about you, Mac?
I do as well. And some of the guys that they're bringing in, I mean, Patterson was really good at FIU, and then Rivers was a 1,100-yard catcher last year, 12 touchdowns. So,
and he was at Georgia Tech before that.
Yeah, and Rutherford coming back as well. He was their leading pass catcher last year. So You're bringing back your leading rusher, your quarterback. You got offensive line. Yeah, I think this offense will definitely take a step forward.
Yeah, Haynes King got to stay healthy though. For what I see, we got to keep him healthy, but still run him 1,000 times. Who cares, right? Let's go. Now the defensive side of the ball. Now I do have my questions here. Because Tyler Santucci was a Mike Elko guy. He came in and I thought he did a great job, and the numbers back it up if you look at from the previous year to this past year, improving that defense. But he's off to the Baltimore Ravens, if memory serves me correct. So we got new life. Blake Gideon, Star Wars character, right, is coming in to be the defensive coordinator. But before we get to the defense, I got to let you folks know that the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets season preview is brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino, downtown Las Vegas. And they're giving away a ultimate fantasy football experience like no other for a 12-person league to draft in Las Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their entire stay. You're going to get a limo ride from the airport, a $5,000 food and beverage tab from Stadium Swim, where you can have your draft, a hotel stay for you and 11 of your league mates, all at the biggest sports book in the world, Circa. And I mean, it's free to enter too. All right. So what are you doing? Enter the ultimate fantasy football contest, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. That's CIRCA. And don't forget, folks, if you're ever going to the Circa in general, whether it's this contest or just if you're in Vegas or any of their resorts, I know they got one in Illinois, they got one in Reno, they're all over. You can always get 15% off any of the properties with the promo code SGP15. You're welcome. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, college football win totals, all there for you. MyBookie also accepts customers from a ton of different locations, even outside of the States. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So what are you doing? Head on over to mybookie.ag. Use our promo code TCESGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, of course. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right. Got fucking flies flying in my face. All right. That's because all the shit that's going on in Atlanta when Tyler Santucci leaves for the Baltimore Ravens. Mac, if you're asking me to be concerned, it's because Blake Moff Gideon coming in at DC. Now he comes in from Texas, but at Texas, damn, you got every great player.
Yeah,
you just got unlimited money. Now I've heard good things about him. I've heard people rave about him. But one thing I loved about Tyler Santucci was the year prior at Duke, I thought he was incredible. So that if you're asking me to shoot holes in this season, I would say a little concerned on defense. Scoring defense a season ago was 72nd. That was actually a big improvement. 69th in pass defense, 30th in rush defense, 42nd in total defense. So if you're asking me to be a little bit concerned, it would be here because there's a chance those numbers all improved under Santucci. Now, could they go back to their previous numbers? Potentially. But Blake Gideon's a guy that people are saying is going to be the next head coach. But I have been a hardcore college football fan for more than 30 fucking years. So it wouldn't be the first time that someone said, well, you got to watch out. He'll be the next. This guy's got head coaching capabilities. And then you watch their season and they were terrible. Now, I'm not saying, Blake, that's going to be you, but I'm saying I have seen that. So I'm a little concerned there, Mac. How about you?
Yeah, and he's a first-time coordinator. I mean, he was a safeties coach at Texas, special teams at Ole Miss. So, this is a new gig. This is a step up. And yeah, I mean, they need to take a step forward. We're talking about them potentially being an ACC title contender. The defense has got to be better than those numbers right there, in my opinion.
Well, and part of the reason why not only do they lose Santucci, they lose Romello Height, who left to Texas Tech. Texas Tech is buying everybody, but they do return these guys. Braden Manley at the defensive end spot, linebacker Kyle Effort, nickelback Kelvin Hill, and then both corners Rodney Shelley and Amari Harvey. Strong safety Clayton Powell Lee as well. And I want to say this: That's encouraging, seeing that many guys back. But this is their third defense in 3 years. I like that much production returning, regardless if they're learning 5 defenses, whatever. It's good to have guys that have been on the field that long that understand college football. But I think if you're looking for the angle on how the season does not go like we see, I would say it would be on the defensive side of the ball or Haynes King getting injured, one of the two. I have my concerns. Now, they did hit the portal. They bit back a little bit. They brought in Akello Stone on the D-line from Ole Miss, Matthew Alexander on the D-line from UCF. Manley, who I talked about, actually is from Mercer. He started at Mercer, so I apologize for having him on the thing. AJ Hoffler from Clemson. Ronald Triplett from UTSA. Linebacker Melvin Jordan from Oregon State. Linebacker Kamen Spalding from Tennessee Tech. Also cornerbacks John Mitchell and Kelvin Hill. And safety Savion Riley from Colorado, who is actually their first opponent, so that's nice to have. Also safety Jaron Gilmore from Georgia State and Daquan White, a corner from Eastern Michigan, as well as punter Marshall Nichols from UNLV. Mac, will the defense be as good as last season? Because part of me is like, I actually had a hard time with this one.
Yeah.
The schedule's way nicer. But I also think there's more uncertainty. So part of me is like, okay, I think they might regress slightly on the defensive side of the ball. How about you?
I'm torn as well because it's a new coordinator, but I do like some of the guys that they're bringing in. Mitchell from Penn State, he played meaningful snaps for them last year, and then some of the other guys on the defensive line. I mean, you could tell that they want to be more physical up front on the defensive side of the ball to mirror the offensive side of the ball. I'm with you. I kind of think they're going to be around the same.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. If they would have got a second year under Santucci, I would be fucking all in.
Yeah,
all in. I still think I'm high on him, but I'm like, gosh, one more year with Santucci back, you bastard Baltimore Ravens. Well, we do a thing called State of the Program here, which I think is my favorite part of the episode. I think you said the same. Because we talk about the future of the program moving forward, but also part of the program, besides fan base and everything, which I think is directly connected to stadium. Mac, Bobby Dodd Stadium is, to me, it's college football. All right. It's college football. You can't tell the story. 112 years. Now there's an ongoing argument, whether it's Wisconsin or whether it's Georgia Tech with the oldest FBS stadium. I don't care. Both are fantastic. I give this thing a 9 out of 10. And look, you give me another Molson, I might tell you it's 10 out of 10. I love this fucking stadium. But I'm going to say, there's sacred ones, and this is right there to me. This is one I defend heavily. To me, when I look at that Mercedes bullshit the Falcons play in, I go, what's going on? What the hell's going on? You got Bobby Dodd right down the damn road. I mean, you can't ask for a better football stadium in Atlanta than this thing right here. Look at it, by the way. That was Bobby Dodd Stadium. Look at that shit. All right? I mean, I love how you have the rambling wrecked cars there on the field. And that's just a classic right there, right? But look at it now, buddy. I mean, they've done. Well, actually, no. There's another one, and this field has had so many legends. Whether it's a away team, whether it's Georgia Tech's own history, which is rich, might I add. Look at this fucking stadium, Mac.
It's old school, baby.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look at and this is where they beat Cumberland 222-0, by the way. Which is, I don't care who the fuck you're talking to. All right, anyone wants to say, well, Jordan scored 63. I don't give a shit. Georgia Tech scored 222 points on Cumberland. All right, who is playing a D1 opponent this year, by the way. Unbelievable on this very field. 222 points scored. Now, look at this stadium. I mean, this is just look at that. And I don't know if you can see the skyline. The far left, they light up that building for Georgia Tech when there's playing a game. Obviously, dude, just the other day, someone shared that clip of them blocking the kick against Florida State and returning it for a touchdown. The fucking place was rocking. They do college football well. It is a perfect stadium to me. Now, I didn't give it a 10 of 10 because I can't give every team a 10. And there's only 7 or 8 10s, or I don't know, 9 or 10 10s out there. But this thing is close. This is a top 25 college football stadium, in my opinion. And I love the history. If you get a chance and you're in Atlanta, which they have the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, so why not make a trip? It is just done well. It is done well. It is, to me, perfect. No one should fuck with it. It's absolutely perfect. So I give it a 9 out of 10, Mac. What do you give it?
I was gonna give it a 9 as well, and 51,000. They've renovated it 3 times in the last 30 years, 85, 03, and then 2020. It's a classic. It's a classic.
And what's great too is the original way back in the day is still there. You can still go and see it.
Yeah.
The original seats, they never destroyed that shit. It's underneath. So they kind of built on top of it. So you can still see it. It is a flawless college football stadium to me. And this is why Georgia Tech is awesome. That's why everyone should look. If you're a college football fan, go to a fucking game at Bobby Dodd. It's awesome. And look at this. And of course, always remember you should storm the field. That is college football and college sports in general. Storm the court, storm the field. But Mac, call me a sucker. And then you add in this shit like this.
The car.
I mean, I should have done my homework on what type of car that is. Either way, I see some vintage shit like that on the field when they come out on the field with this thing and a bunch of, the band, the cheerleaders. This college football. This ain't the NFL bullshit. All right. We're giving you personality, soul. All right. Come on. This thing is fire. Look at that thing. I'll drive that thing around Atlanta. Then, oh shit. What do we got? We got Bobby Dodd on the left and a guy named John Heisman on the fucking right. You want history? There's your history right there. You got honor in college football history. That is fantastic. That is college football. And that is why they deserve a damn 9. Look at that. I mean, come on. You got the band going. You got a goddamn Hornet.
I love
yellow jacket.
Yeah. I love the whiteout. That's a great scene.
It's a great stadium, man. They do it right. So state of the program. Stadium obviously is intact. Soul is intact. They're not spineless like UNLV trying to say, hey, we should play our games at Mercedes. Although,
I was going to say that fucking game.
Some pile of shit made a bad decision. But on the rise, I would say 7 of 10. And if you had told me this under Jeff Collins, I would have probably had this at 2 or 3. This is a 7 of 10. And if they take a step forward and get more than 7 wins, man, with the way you can recruit in Georgia, with Atlanta as your market, is it's a unique place. I know you need grades, but I don't give a shit. There's been enough great players from here, from the Swillings to Calvin Johnson to, just Joe Hamilton. You could just go. There's a million great players coming out of Georgia. Drew Hill. What do you give the program?
I was going to go 7, and a year from now we may be talking at 8 or 9 if they have this special year. They're headed in the right direction, but they need to take that next step. They've been a 7-win program the last couple of years, so we'll give them a 7. Boy, it'd be something if Georgia Tech surpassed Georgia. That would be awesome.
You mean like pre-Kirby Smart when they were the last team to win a national championship? Come on, dog fans. I mean, I'm just saying the facts, but it's okay. You got a leg up on them in the last era to buy players. I understand. We'll see.
Now everybody can pay for players, Georgia
That's
fans.
what I'm saying.
Don't let the Yellow Jackets get back.
Don't let John Heisman's family. Although, I don't know. They're probably working at a gas station because there was no money in college football back then. Either way, I think it's a great time to be a Yellow Jacket fan. Look, we're going to go game by game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to let you know that the college football experience, Yellow Jacket style, is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. They're going long for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Yes, the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonuses get. So check it out. They also have college football. When college football and college basketball go around, nothing like Underdog Fantasy. They got every sport you can think of. So check it out. Sign up. And when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. You probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. Well, it's going to be different this time. They just dropped a brand new game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. And let me tell you, Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data back bets, baby. So download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. And by the way, you get a free 7-day trial period. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we're back. The hiccups a little bit there. The schedule, Mac, fascinating to me. It is a lot easier.
This week one game is fast.
This week one game is great. We got Georgia Tech heading up to legendary Folsom Field. Take on the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime. I'm a Colorado fan. People know this. And this is, by the way, the first time they ever played, which is a damn shame. Because college football in 1990, both these teams want to share the national championship. They should have played then, but the whole world was fucked up. Still a little fucked up. But, Mac, I am terrified of this game as a Colorado fan because, and I know Colorado's focusing on the run. They got one of the bigger offensive lines in college football, if not the biggest. It's going to be a run with Caden Salter coming in, but I don't like this matchup.
I don't like it either for Colorado.
Yeah, I would say the only thing Colorado has going in their favor potentially is the altitude and the home environment. But I have Georgia Tech winning this game, being honest. Like, I'm a Colorado fan, and I think Georgia Tech, if this was week 7 or 8, I would feel much better. Week 1, where Colorado's replacing so much production, I don't feel very good about that. With Georgia Tech being so in tune to their team, a lot of returning starters, I think there's a leg up. The only thing that could potentially help us is if you run Haynes King that many times, the altitude is a fucking factor. And there's no prepping for that altitude. But I have to take Georgia Tech. So I'm going to say Colorado's 0-1.
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech in this game. I'll back the experience. Yes, it is. That place is going to be jumping, coming off the really good second year of Dion, Shador, Travis Hunter. But you got to replace those guys.
Everybody, Will Shepard, Jimmy Horn. Literally, like almost all of their offensive. Now, I do think Colorado's going to be better than what people think, but I think it's a really tough matchup for Colorado week 1.
Yeah, so I agree. I like Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech's line 3.5. Feels like a bait to take Colorado. I think Georgia Tech's gonna fuck them.
I think I'll take Georgia Tech too. Like I said, if there's just week 7 or 8, you could buy me into Colorado. I just think losing that much production, you can't practice reps like that. And Georgia Tech has a lot of their returning production back at the key spots. And I think that, and then the physicality of Georgia Tech's offensive line, I think, is an issue. I know Colorado's beefing up on the D-line and O-line, and I do believe they are getting better. I just don't think they're there yet for this game, for this particular game. So, so 1-0 Yellow Jackets. Then the Gardner-Webb Bulldogs come into Bobby Dodd Stadium. Series goes back to 2008. 2-0. Shout out to the running Bulldogs, though.
Shout out to G-Webb. Yeah. Give me Georgia Tech.
2-0. And then the Clemson Tigers rivalry game. The series goes back to the 1800s. Fuck out of here. College football is the greatest. All right. Fucking NFL started what, like 40 years later? Your goddamn merger with the AFL was in the 60s. I like just randomly shitting on the NFL. That's what I try to do in the middle of these episodes. Make sure I bring numbers down a little bit. I got news for you, buddy. I think Clemson is a great story. Everyone's got them doing damage. Garrett Riley is the brother of Lincoln Riley. That's Clemson's offensive coordinator. And I'm a Lincoln Riley guy. He was at ECU for a little bit. However, one thing I do fear are teams that are built on the line of scrimmage. And Brent Key, I got Georgia Tech upsetting Clemson here. If Clemson's got to play LSU week 1, I don't know that this game is as big as they think it is. But to me, I think Georgia Tech does not play pussy ball. I think that's why they should have beat Georgia last year. And Clemson's gotten a little more finesse in recent years. I got the Yellow Jackets 3-0. How about you?
Yeah, I think Georgia Tech's going to beat them for the first time since 2014. I like the matchup here for Georgia Tech, like the spot. And Clemson, it feels like, has dropped a game in September for the last couple of years since they've started regressing a little bit. So yeah, give me the Yellow Jackets. Let's go.
Let me tell you something. Everyone's saying, look, let me preface it with this. Everyone is saying, or I hope Clemson wins the national championship under Dabo Swinney at some point again. I'm not a Clemson fan. I just think it would be good for the sport.
I love Dabo.
I think he's a funny guy. That's what I'm saying. Like I like his loyalty to his players. But I can tell you this, they are a different style of Clemson than before, which I think makes them very vulnerable to a team like Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech could be a very big problem on the line of scrimmage for them. It is not Clemson of 5 years ago. Now, I still think Clemson is a very good team, a playoff contender. Sure, I'm in. But I don't see this as some like pushover game. I think Georgia Tech is live. I think they're going to win this fucking game. I think the fact that Clemson plays LSU week 1 is even more of a reason why I like Georgia Tech to win this game. Yeah, sign me up. Yellow Jackets win this thing outright.
And under Key, they have pulled multiple upsets. I mean, of course, the Cristobal game 2 years ago when he didn't take a fucking knee. But I mean, they beat Miami last year as well at home, and then they I know Florida State had a horrible year, but I mean they were top 10 when they played them for whatever that's worth. So I mean they should have beat Georgia on the road last year. So like in the big games, Key's teams play well.
Well, and like I just look and I see people saying Clemson's D-line's nasty. It's not like it was before though, because the backups all get paid elsewhere. Before they had like Dexter Lawrence as like a backup at one point, and you're like, that's insane. Yes, they have a good defensive line, but I would also say this, like, what? And I like to hire Tom Allen, by the way, but this is still a team. If you look back at Clemson, okay, like. They needed to beat SMU to make the playoffs. And even that SMU game was crazy. They made like a 60-yard field goal, right? And then they lose to South Carolina. They lose to Louisville. In Clemson, by the way. They barely get past Pitt. They struggle with Virginia Tech. They even struggle with Florida State some. I just don't know that they deserve to be on the pedestal that a lot of preseason publications are putting them on yet. I understand it's year 3 of Garrett Riley's offense. I understand the Tom Allen hire will make the defense a lot better. I do believe that, actually. I also believe, though, that Georgia Tech is a very good team on the line of scrimmage, and I also think they can negate what does a good run game do. It can also, negate a great pass rush. And another thing is, like, to me, Georgia Tech's unorthodox. A lot of teams in the ACC don't play at the style. Like I was joking at the beginning of this episode with how many QB powers. Well, Georgia's D-line's been great. But that quarterback power shit throws your numbers off. It's unorthodox. A lot of other teams don't run that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are we doing here? They're really going to run the quarterback 30 times on a quarterback power? I'm not saying it's like triple option or something, but I'm saying it's still a numbers game, and the fact that he can throw it at the level he can, I think he's just a very underrated quarterback in college football. Jackets 3-0,
and he's like 30. He's a vet. He's been in college 6 years, or this is going to be his 6th year in college. Yeah, 3-0 for me as well.
Then the Temple House. This is the Jeff Collins Bowl. You bastards. No, they stole our coach. Or Georgia Tech fans are saying, damn it, why did we go to Temple to get our coach? Casey Keeler, I will say this, man. If they beat Clemson, this is the game that Georgia Tech would lose historically. Yeah. I'll go 4-0 because Keeler's in year 1. But I'll say this: if you storm the field, which they would storm the field, they beat top 5 Clemson. Don't let Casey Keeler be just a little bit ahead of schedule. What are you doing here?
4-0. They got too much on the. They're too physical for Temple.
Then I got them 4-0 as well. They head to Winston-Salem, Wake Forest. I think they got a big donation in their NIL collective today, but who cares? Because that will pay off in the future. The series goes back to 1917, over 100 years. Glad it's on the schedule. I might even be at this game. But guess what? 5-0. They're going into Winston-Salem. They're getting that dub.
I agree. 5-0 for me as well. Wake Forest will not be ahead of schedule yet.
Then they get a bye week. Look at that. Joe Hamilton, fucking legendary quarterback. Calvin Johnson. There we go. Some of the Georgia Tech greats. Then they come out of the bye week and they're hosting Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech's ass, actually, personally. They need to prove a lot of things to me. And it's not like I want Virginia Tech to be good. It's just I feel like they're always unprepared. So I will take the Yellow Jackets, especially off the bye week, to win this one in Bobby Dodd. So I got them. What is that? How many wins in a row is that? I think it's like
6. We both have 6-0. Yeah, I mean, this is a revenge. They dropped the game in Blacksburg last year. Key will have them ready to go.
Then week 7, and you take on Manny Diaz. This is got to be the one, right?
Yeah, if they're 6-0, they're they might be like top 10 at this point.
This is. I mean, it's got to be the one. I couldn't help. Or I'll bring this up in a second, but Duke brings in the Tulane kid at quarterback from San Luis Obispo. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. It's not Kai Horton. It's the fuck is my guy's name? He's from San Luis Obispo, in California. Was a freshman at Tulane last year. Killed it.
Mensa.
Yeah, Nathan Mensa. He's really good. Georgia Tech's going to have a target on their back if they play this game. So I will take Duke to win this game. So, yes, give me a first loss right here on October 18th.
And I just look, Duke has a bye week to get ready for him, too.
Even better.
Yeah, Diaz.
You prepare for that QB power shit. Diaz, defensive guy. All over this.
6-1. I'm with you. I think they take their first loss. I mean, come on. You can't win them all.
Then they come back home to Bobby Dodd, where they take on Fran Brown and the Syracuse Orangemen. Look, Syracuse had a lot of moving pieces. I do like Fran Brown, what he's doing there, but I think Georgia Tech wins this one. I think they get back on the winning side of things, Mac, and they get this one. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I got them going 7-1 here. Getting Syracuse coming down to the ATL.
7-1. We both have them at 7. What could go wrong? Then they head. I tried to press the button, didn't work. Then they head to Raleigh, North Carolina, to the Pussy Pack, Carter Finley Stadium. Mac, I couldn't help but notice that they play at Wake Forest, at Duke, and at NC State. So their road trips, other than Colorado and Boston College, are all to familiar places. This is dangerous.
Yeah.
This is a weeknight game too, I believe, right? Isn't this a Friday night?
No, it's a Saturday.
Saturday? I don't like to give the Pussy Pack wins ever. But I'm going to give them a win right here. Carter Finley, look, I talk a lot of shit about NC State because I'm an ECU guy, but I will give their fans credit. They make that shit I've been to games there. I was there. They upset number 1 Florida State one year. They are capable of that because of their environment that they build. They may be pussies. They may never win anything. All right, but I think they get this one. Give me a win. What are you doing here?
I got the Pack winning too. That's a hard place to win at. And Georgia Tech, man, I know the schedule was hard. They struggled on the road last year. That was all their losses.
Yeah. Then they get their second bye week, which is good after a loss, if that happens. And then they head to sleepy Chestnut Hill
in November. They're going to lose this game. BC's going to get him. A warm weather team going to BC middle of November.
And Bill O'Brien, Coach Brent Key.
Yeah.
That's tricky. That is tricky. But I'm going to take my Jackets to get it done. Do I feel good about it? No, I do not. I would actually say if you like this between this and the Clemson game, you'll probably get a third loss in there. But no, give me these Yellow Jackets. All right.
I'm going Bill O'Brien. I think they're going to be pretty good this year, and they're good at home, man. That's a tough place to win at. Yep.
I look. I could totally see it. I think it's a game. Then they come home to take on Pat Narduzzi. But will Pat Narduzzi be the head coach at Pitt on November 22nd? Give me Georgia Tech win.
Yeah, Pitt's going 0-12. So yeah, give me Georgia Tech. Let's go.
And then the season ends with this horrible, horrible, horrible shit. Now, this is look, I would never normally come at this classic rivalry that goes back to the 1800s, clean old fashioned hate.
They fucked this up so bad.
Oh my God. This might be the thing that bothers me most about college football this season. Georgia is at Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech said, no, we don't need Bobby Dodd. We'll play it at Mercedes Benz, that bullshit shopping mall where the Falcons play at. And guess what? Because of that, there's going to be a shit ton of Georgia fans, and you burned your fucking home field advantage in a year where you could make the college football playoffs. Oh my God. I just want to, and I guess you could still make it if you win the ACC championship, but this is one of the dumbest things. And I know you got a bag of cash. I did a deep dive on this game and why you did it. But are you trying to like to me, if you're trying to be a serious program, you have to play this at Bobby Dodd.
Yeah.
Notice how Georgia's not doing that? Georgia's doing it for the away game. Sure, we'd love to. Guess what? We could pack another 10,000 fans into that bitch. What are you doing?
They're going to lose because it's in the dome.
They are.
They were going to beat them. They could beat them at Bobby Dodd.
I agree. I think at Bobby Dodd, they win the game. This is a loss, right? And someone should be fired for this.
Yeah. Someone
should be fired for this. You want extra money? Fucking, I don't know, open another strip club, right? What are you doing? So I got them 9-3. You got them 8-4?
8-4, yeah.
I think yours could definitely happen, especially because the way they run Haynes King, he's almost sometimes you don't even have to miss the game, but you look, and I believe in running the quarterback, but they throw more for a running quarterback than I probably would like at times. So it makes it tricky because sometimes you need to pass the ball. And when you run that often, it makes it very tricky to be able to be precise every throw because sometimes you just get your shoulder, it's a little numb. Oh, I need to throw the ball here. Makes it a little tricky. So I got them 9-3. I do think 8-4 is more likely than 10-2 for the record.
The road games are hard, man. I mean, they got to go to Boulder. They got to get Duke. Duke isn't bad. NC State's not bad. Boston College isn't bad. And then they turned the Georgia game into a road game.
The win total's at 7.5, though. I feel pretty good about the over.
Yeah, me too.
Well, if you want me to build a case on the under,
Colorado.
It's probably that Colorado game, right? Or Clemson, right? If they lose Clemson, if it's Clemson, Duke, NC State, BC, Georgia. But the Colorado game is pretty fucking huge. But I'm on the over, and I feel pretty good about it. Another way though that the under or your over gets cooked is if Haynes King gets injured, which has happened multiple years.
Yeah,
that is the concerning thing with locking the over. I'm just gonna take the over, Mac. I'm not gonna lock it. How about you?
I'm just gonna take it. Are you gonna take their ACC future?
That is exactly what I was about to mention. So they're plus 1,200 to win the ACC. If they beat Clemson week 3, which I think is a good time to catch Clemson, they've struggled in early September, and they played LSU just 2 weeks prior. It's in Bobby Dodd, unlike the Georgia game. So you would have the tiebreaker on them if you win that game. I like them to win that game. And that means then that puts them in a very good spot, even if they lose the Georgia game. That's what's hilarious of all this, Mac. The Georgia game might not even matter as far as their fucking chances to make the playoffs or the Colorado game. So I do think I will place a future plus 1,200 to win the ACC championship. Because what if they're not even playing Clemson? What if they're playing SMU? What if they're playing, I don't know, Miami, so some other school, Louisville with Brom. Then I kind of like their chances. I mean, shit, they've had Miami's number lately. Not just that fumble game. I'm saying, like, go look at the past 10 years of the Miami game. So I am gonna place a wager plus 1,200 to win the ACC. They're plus 500 to make the CFP. I don't know why you would take that. So yeah, you in on this, Mac?
I worry about the road schedule, but say that they go 2-1 in those, or they just drop 2 of those. Can they get there? Yeah, I think they would have a tiebreaker over Clemson. So yeah, I'll sprinkle 12-1, even though I have them with 3 losses in the ACC.
Yeah. You never know. That might be enough to get the. I mean, shit. What was last year's? I guess no.
Clemson had 2 losses, I think.
Yeah, it could be. It could be this year though. All right. So there we go. We're both on the over. None of us locking it up, but we are both betting plus 1,200 to win the ACC. Jump in on the action. Let's go. And folks, we are breaking down 136 teams, 136 episodes. We honor every single school in the FBS. Also, check out the FCS college football experience. Also, check out the college baseball experience. Killing it right now. Was sad to see Georgia Tech lose. I caught them live. And also, check out the college basketball experience. It's a big year for Damon Stoudemire with those Jackets. Big year. I would say he's on the hot seat a little bit.
Yeah.
We're live every night of the season. Also, we do a ton of stuff in the off season. Check us out. It never ends. YouTube.com/the college experience. Also, iTunes, Spotify, wherever podcasts can be found. Also, make sure you check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. We're always talking college football there. So do all of that stuff. And looking forward to what do we got? We got Notre Dame and UCLA next. Notre Dame and UCLA next. And we put all 136 teams in a randomizer. And this is how we're doing this year. Normally, years past, we've done alphabetically. We've done by conference. It is Notre Dame and UCLA that you will get tomorrow night. Till next time, folks. Give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. You can't tell the history of college football without Georgia Tech. We're going to honor it in the slideshow here. But, looking forward to talking about those other teams. Till next time, this is the College Football Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
It's got me thinking about the good shit the minute that I seen your grill again. It made me good trip, good dog the mind back like dog will wind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit me can back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again. And that's the attraction factor. Vancouver, Michigan with my rap disaster. Yeah, you know you want it how you want it. No need to trip cause I got it, doggone it. It's all yours and the extras too. All the super music and the sex for who? Just get it straight cause he caught me in a good mood. Let me demonstrate what this time of year could do. Sing it. shit. Last time you got the hot shit that I made, I was not the hot shit. Why? Going through them transitions, wham this in, damn listen. I can make the biggest change listen and wouldn't have shit to do with shit but some chips in. I don't get down like that. I'm the super rap mammal with the crown of fact. I'm so sore thumb, sticking out like some stick gum. Out the back with the beat smack. It's dumb, dumb hot, crazy sun hot. More often than not, and not monotonous. And got the hiss and the holes is bottomless. Bottoms up, cause I'ma just beat them damn guts to submission. It's in the job description, that's what I was missing. Yeah.